No one tells you that the hardest part of chasing a dream isn't the work, it's the waiting. You're doing everything right. You're showing up every day, you're putting in the hours, the effort, the late nights and early mornings, but the breakthrough still isn't happening. I find myself checking my analytics often. I know I shouldn't let numbers affect me, but we've all been there, right? I check because I'm excited. I want to see that it's working, that it's growing, that maybe this could actually become something real, something I could do full time. So I check, hoping today might be different. And it's not that the numbers are bad, it's just they're not there yet, not where I need them to be. And I know I have to be patient. I know good things take time, but God, waiting is hard when you want something this much. I'm willing to work for this, but there's this gap between how ready I am to give everything and how long it's actually going to take. That's what's killing me. Not that I'm not willing to work, but that I have to wait while I work. That's the part they don't show you in the success stories. This space where you want it so desperately and you feel like you're doing everything right, but you still have to be patient, still have to wait. And waiting feels impossible when your whole heart is already there. If you're here right now, in this stage, you're not alone. We're all just waiting for our time. And it's so much harder than anyone talks about. Uncertainty is one of the brain's greatest stressors. We're wired to crave control, to predict outcomes, to find patterns that make sense. And when you want something so desperately, but can't force it to happen, your nervous system treats it like a threat. I feel like we live in a paradox that's slowly driving us insane. The very thing that makes our work alive, exploring the unknown, pushing boundaries, creating something that's never existed before, is the exact thing our brains are designed to fear. We need uncertainty to grow, but uncertainty is also what's keeping us up at 2 a.m., questioning everything. Or maybe that last part is just me. Think about it. Every day, you're asking your brain to be comfortable in the space it's designed to avoid. You're saying, hey, I know you want safety and predictability, but instead, we're going to put our heart on the line and see what happens. Your brain responds the way any reasonable brain would, with anxiety, with doubt, with the overwhelming urge to find an exit strategy. But here's the thing, that anxiety isn't a sign you're on the wrong path. It's proof that you're asking your brain to expand beyond its comfort zone. The discomfort isn't the problem. The discomfort is the point. Look, I know things don't happen instantly. I know you need years of consistent effort, that overnight success is usually 10 years in the making, that good things take time. I know all of this. I remind myself of this every day. But that doesn't make the waiting any less miserable. I have these moments that seemingly come out of nowhere, where I'm just sitting there and my brain goes, why are you doing this? What's the point? I know my brain is trying to protect me, trying to be logical. It's asking legitimate questions. Is this sustainable? Am I being realistic? Should I have a backup plan? But here's the thing. Every creative who's ever built something meaningful has had their brain ask these exact same questions. We're all just wondering if we're being delusional or determined in the pursuit of our dreams. This stage weeds people out. It's designed to. The waiting period is the universe's way of asking, how badly do you actually want this? Most people quit here, not because they're weak, but because they loved the idea more than they loved the process. They loved the destination more than they were willing to love the journey. Persistence under uncertainty, that's what separates dreamers from creators. Anyone can want something when people are paying attention, when your work is getting noticed, when you're getting feedback and encouragement. But will you still want it when nobody's watching? When your art sits unseen, your music goes unheard, your work gets ignored? When you're creating in complete silence and no one seems to care? When the only person who believes in what you're doing is you? People think breakthroughs happen instantly. They don't. They don't come out of nowhere. They're the result of everything that came before. They're the accumulation of every day you showed up when you didn't feel like it, every piece you finished when it wasn't perfect, every time you chose to keep going when quitting felt easier. The breakthrough moment only happens because of all the moments nobody saw. You don't suddenly transform overnight. You slowly become the person who is ready for that breakthrough when it finally arrived. When the big goal feels impossible, shrink it down to something you can actually control today. I'm learning to focus on the process, not the outcome. Instead of chasing numbers I can't control, followers, engagement, views, I focus on what I can control. Creating consistently, showing up daily, hitting small milestones that are entirely within my power. Consistency is how I prove to myself I'm serious, even when nobody's watching, especially when nobody's watching. The morning routine, the daily practice, the small goals that add up over time, this isn't busy work. This is how you prove to yourself who you are. Every time you show up, you're reinforcing that you're serious about this. Every time you create something, you're proving that you're actually a creator, not just someone who talks about creating. When everything feels out of control, control what you can. The rest will follow. If you're in that waiting stage, yeah, me too. This is it. This is the part nobody talks about, where you're showing up every day and it feels like nothing's moving. Persistence isn't glamorous. It's showing up when nobody's clapping. It's doing it again tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that. It's choosing to believe in something before you have proof it's worth believing in. The doubt, it's not going anywhere. I still have it. The uncertainty isn't going to suddenly feel comfortable, but I'm learning to push through it anyway. You're learning to create despite it. We're becoming the kind of people who don't let doubt stop us from creating, because one day it won't be I want to be, it'll just be I am. But first, you have to survive this waiting period. You have to prove to yourself that when you say you want something, you mean it enough to wait for it, work for it, and become the person who does it.